Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is for those that are completely new to makeup. You want to dabble into makeup but you have no idea where to start. You're watching all these makeup videos but they're all too complicated. You don't know what any of it means. So this video is for you, a complete beginner's guide to makeup. I go through everything step by step, very slowly and in a more tutorial form, and I go through a little bit of a technique which I used to use when I started out with makeup, so it's not that intimidating. And always remember, anything if you want to learn, it takes practice, so don't be discouraged if you can't get your eyeliner right or anything, because it took me years, sis, to get any sort of eyeliner on my eye. I also go through a lot of different products that I recommend for someone who's just starting out in makeup, the different tools, the different brushes that you need. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you like it at the end of the video, and if you want to know how to recreate this look, then just keep watching. So I'm just gonna go through everything step by step as a tutorial, so if you want, please follow along. That would be really fun. And just pause whenever, or DM me if you have any questions, and let's just get started. Before we get into like different steps and everything in the makeup Before we get into the different steps of a makeup routine, I'm first going to show you the different tools that you probably should have with you. One is the best ever thing to be invented, is the beauty blender. This thing is about, it's like 30 bucks, I think, in Singapore. And this will save you money on a foundation brush, a concealer brush, a contour brush, whatever. Like, this literally blends everything and everything that is clean up. I can't speak, thing that is cream. So you save a lot of money on brushes if you just invest in this. Of course, when you get more professional and if you get better and better makeup, there are different techniques where you can use brushes as well. But for now, if you want to just get one thing, get this beauty blender. There are different beauty sponges as well that are cheaper, and that would be like the Real Technique sponge. I used to use it as well when I just started out, before I started getting into a beauty blender. The Real Technique sponge was also really good. Now for brushes, I understand these are all my brushes, and I get that there are a lot, and a lot of my friends make fun of me for having so many brushes, which actually is not even that many considering like if you look at other people. But that being said, I think just to start off, like let's say you're completely starting off, you have no idea what to do, I would suggest getting a travel set or a travel pack of brushes. The one that I first started using was from Sephora. It is the Sephora travel pack. I'll see if I can find it online, but basically all you need to start with is like at least one eyeshadow brush. Literally you can do everything with one brush. You can, because you can also use fingers if you're just starting out. So I would recommend, or actually if possible, get a brush with like two ends, one fluffy and one flat edge. This will be a really good starting brush because you don't need to get into so many things and you literally just need one eyeshadow brush. For example, for the travel pack, I remember I got this. This is my very first blush brush I got. I think it came with this. It came with a big powder brush, a thin eyeshadow brush. Literally, wait, I have all of them. All the stuff that I had last time. Anything small like this also would work. And yeah, very simple. In fact, to start out with contour and stuff, if you don't want to get a contour brush, you can even use this to contour. And if you're starting out, of course, when you get better and better, you'll realize that having different brushes actually really do help with your technique. Brushes, different brands that you can check out if you want to just like actually just get a full set if you have the money for that. Zoeva, really good for brushes. This is my favorite brush. It is a blending brush. It is the 227 Luxe Soft Diviner by Zoeva. They're pretty affordable-ish brushes, and if you want to get the sets, they're quite expensive, but the quality is really good, and I guess it's everything that you need really. Another brand that is really good to check out for brushes would be Real Techniques, especially if you're starting out. So Real Techniques, I'm sure you've seen this kind of design. I think I got this part of a set as well. This is a foundation brush, which I don't really recommend you start out with this. I recommend you start out with the beauty blender, because with foundation brushes tends to get very streaky and it's not pretty. So this, and I got this powder brush. Yeah, so these are like these are from Real Techniques. Also, they have really good sets on Sephora, and even the Singapore website, they have really good sets. So if you're looking to start out with some tools, definitely check that out. I'll try and link everything I can find below for a good starter kit. First, I'm gonna go step by step in what a makeup process would look like. Now this makeup look is very simple. It I will take you through every single step, and I will include foundation and concealer. However, just take out steps that you don't want. Really, it's up to you on how much makeup you want to wear, how little makeup you want to wear, or even any at all if you just want to watch this video for fun. So it's very customizable. Just do whatever you feel comfortable with, but for a viewer's sake who wants to know every single step, I'm just going to go through everything from the start. Step 1 is a primer. I'm going to try and include more drugstore products because I know when you're starting out in makeup, you don't really want to invest in the more expensive products, which I get, and that's the same thing I did. Watson's and Guardian were my go-to when I first started going into makeup. So this is e.l.f. Cosmetics. It's not available in Singapore, but you can literally get any primer from Watson's. This is the hydrating face primer. So what a primer does, it essentially makes your makeup last longer. I don't know the science behind it, but it really does work, and I do really recommend this one. If you're looking to invest in something a little better, I would suggest the Fenty Beauty primer. That one is really, really good as well, or the Too Faced Hangover primer. But for now, we're just gonna use this one. So I just squeeze a bit at the back of my hand. I'm sorry if the lighting is gonna be weird during this video because the sun is just being a little bitch. Just putting it all over my face and rubbing it in. So now that my primer is on, the next step, step 2, is foundation. So for foundation, I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me foundation, normal to oily skin. This is in the shade 222 True Beige. Now again, with foundation, I understand that this is very intimidating and not a lot of people like to use it. Totally understand, especially when you're starting out in makeup. I myself didn't use foundation at least like a year plus into using makeup. If you don't want to use foundation, just skip this step, go straight to concealer and use some sort of colored powder on top. That really works as well. But for the sake of this video, I'm just going to show you how to use foundation. It's really not that scary. So literally, this is a really good foundation for an affordable price. I used to put it at the back of my hand, but I'm just going to put it straight under the beauty blender so I don't get stains on my hand. So just put it on a beauty blender. And so what I do, you can literally just follow along. I dot it along my face to spread the product first. And then I use bouncing motions to blend in the product, and that's all. And also make sure you wet your beauty blender. That's the only way it will work. So you just use bouncing motions. Do not wipe. Don't do this because it completely ruins your blending. Just bounce and see how flawless that is. So just bounce, shut up and bounce, baby, bounce. I know a lot of people are afraid that, oh, foundation will clog your pores and stuff like that. I think you need to just find the right foundation for your skin type. And also what I have noticed is that as someone who has suffered from acne, you really need to it's really a trial and error. You can't find the perfect foundation for your skin type. And I also understand the whole like, oh, I want to let my skin breathe and I will get acne because of this. When I was having my acne problems, I actually used to just pile on more and more foundations. So honestly, I think the key to making sure that foundation doesn't ruin your skin is to remove everything properly. One makeup wipe is not going to do shit. You need to go in with a proper cleanser. You need to go in with a proper toner, after that a proper skincare routine, to make sure that you're getting every single makeup particle out of your skin. And that is what really helped me when I was clearing my skin, making sure that no matter how much makeup I pound on, I make sure to remove all of that as well. Now that I have my foundation on, step 3 is concealer. Also, by the way, I just want to emphasize that this is the base first then eyes routine. For someone who's starting out in makeup, I would suggest you do this first, because although I understand that doing eyes first is better because it prevents fallout, but for someone who literally has no idea in makeup, you don't even need to know what fallout means and shit like that, you know. You just literally, it's just to make your skin look good, so that when your skin looks good, it's like you feel like doing your eyes. I don't know, for me it works that way, and that's how I started out as well. Sure, many different makeup videos and many different makeup tutorials have different ways of doing it, and honestly I think they're all right. It really depends on you. I've gone through my whole journey on how to use concealer. I used to do the big triangle thing, you know. Kaushal Beauty used to always teach us to do the angel shape with the concealer. That worked for a good while. However, now I'm actually realizing that the less concealer you use, the less cakey it looks. So all I'm taking the concealer what? All I'm doing is taking this concealer and putting it just where my dark circles begin. I'm just bringing it a bit lower. So you put it under your eyes. Now there are other areas where you can put your concealer, and that is over here. And you want to carve out your cheekbones, you can put it here. And just a little bit on your chin. And that's it. So this is where you put your concealer. Now if you're starting out in makeup and you don't want to put your concealer in that many places, just do it under your eyes. Simple as that. You can go in with a concealer brush, but again, I'm going to use a beauty blender and I'm going to blend everything in. So just now you used this part of your beauty blender to blend your foundation. So now you're going to be using this angled part of your beauty blender or your beauty sponge or whatever to blend the concealer in, so you can really get under your eye. Also, you shouldn't really talk so much while you're doing concealer because it oxidizes. Now that I got the base somewhat done, I'm actually going to go in with my brows. For brows, you can invest in a brow pencil, a brow wax, or whatever you want. But if you're just starting out in makeup, oh my god, take a shot every time I say just starting out in makeup. I would really highly recommend a brow gel because it literally does the trick for you. You don't even have to learn how to draw on your brows, nothing. Just use a brow gel. This is literally the OG brow gel I've used for years and years. I don't even know whether they still sell this, but NYX is a really good brand if you're starting out in makeup. They have a lot of different colors, a lot of different products for really affordable prices. So this is the NYX Mascara Color Pore Sourcils. It's literally just a brow gel, and with that I'm gonna make sure I get all the excess product out because you don't want to get these streaks on your skin, which is usually what happens all the time. And just brush. Can you see this tip? Also, you should get rid of that product as well. Okay, just brush. So this is more of a brown tint to it, which I like because my hair is really dark. So if I have dark brows as well, I feel like it's a bit too much. And I used to have highlights coming down from here, so they used to match my highlights really well, but now I just think it looks a bit more natural instead of really harsh makeup. Step 4 is powder. Now with powder, I understand also that there are many different ways to use powder. There are many different powders to use on different parts of your face. It's fine. For today, I'm only going to show you how to use it on your under eyes. If you have some sort of face powder, I would recommend actually setting everything on your face as well, but for me, I don't have that with me right now because mine is finished. So all I'm going to do is actually use the Huda Beauty Easy Bake powder under my eyes. I'm not gonna bake, it's not necessary. I'm literally just gonna use this and dust this under my eyes. So what this does, this is not a translucent powder, this is actually has a bit of color in it. It is in the shade Banana Bread, so it's more of a yellow undertone. So what it does is it helps me brighten my eyes. Not only does it set the concealer, it also really brightens it and makes it look less dull, essentially, which is the same thing as what I said. Use something on your whole face to set your face. Do not use a colored powder. Use something that is translucent or has no color. And something that I have ordered but hasn't come in but I've heard is really good is the Fenty Beauty powder as well. I'll just put a photo of it somewhere. That is also really good for setting your whole face, but since I don't have that, all I'm going to do is set my eyes. And let's say you don't have a face powder as well, but you do have a colored powder. When you do your contour, your blush and everything, that is powder, and that's essentially also setting your face, so you don't have to worry too much about that. So for now, I'm going to use this and dust it under my eyes and everywhere that we set the concealer, and I want to brighten or highlight those areas. Oh, I haven't used any brush, right? Okay, so I'm going to show you the different brushes I'm going to use as well, so that if you have if you find that it's unnecessary, then you don't have to use it, but I'm just going to show you what I use. This is one of my favorite brushes. This is the Real Techniques setting brush. Now, a lot of people use this brush for highlight as well, which I also recommend using this for highlight, but I really like this for setting my under eyes because it's fluffy and it's a little bit smaller, so it really gets under there. So I'm just going to take a bit of this, dust it off, and just press it into my eye. So what it does essentially, if you can see the difference, this has a lot more creasing, this has less creasing because of the yellow undertone in the powder. And what I do is that because I'm not sure that you noticed earlier, when I put my concealer, I also tend to drag it on my eyelid to use it as a primer for the eyelid. So I just set that as well. once I'm done with powder, this is the base. Pretty much done. Well, not yet. I mean, we haven't done contour and everything, but we're gonna leave the face for a while and let's move on to the eyes because that's the fun part. So for eyeshadow, again, I'm going to teach you something that I used to use when I was just starting out in makeup, and that made things a lot easier. It's basically sectioning your eye into 3 steps. So before I teach you that, I'm going to recommend this palette to you. Everybody who has asked me like what palette should I start with, I recommend this. This is the Too Faced Natural Eyes palette. You can see how used it is, like it's so dirty on the top. And these are the colors. They are very, very neutral, very easy to use, and you can do a complete natural look, you can do a glam look. It is super, super good, and it has a mirror as well, so I mean, it's great. So as I was saying, you can get anything from the Sephora brand itself, or just go to Watson's. There are many different drugstore products that you can use. Just make sure you get at least these 3 of the colors. Make sure you get something with a brown color, any sort of shimmer, and actually you're good to go. Just get these 2 colors. Make sure you have a brown color and a sort of shimmer color. But the reason I like this palette is because it also gives you darker ranges, so I'm going to show you why that's good and how you can completely transform your look with them. Basically, there are 3 parts of your eyes that you use when you do makeup. The first part is your crease. Okay, I'm going to show you with the brush where that goes. Can you see here this hollow part of your eye? That is your crease, and that is where you put something called a transition shade. So a transition shade is essentially a brown shade, a neutral brown shade. I like to mix these 2 colors together just because I'm brown too, so if you put a brown on a brown, you can't see shit. So just, oh my god, I mix those 2 shades, and I'm going to first put this in the crease, which is the hollow of your eye. And the way to do it is you use a fluffy brush. This is the Zoeva 227 Luxe Soft Definer brush, and you just use windshield wiper motions, which I'm sure you've heard in many makeup videos. And I don't know why I hold it here, but so just, and also when you use a brush, always use the tip of the brush, because if you use it right here like a pencil, it's a lot harsher, see? So you want to go with a light hand and build the product slowly. So that's all. And you can't really see you can't see anything, but basically what I've done is put a brown color in the crease. Now usually when people don't do a lot of makeup, actually what they do is they just put their bronzer or their contour in the crease as well, and then that ties in the whole face together, and then it looks like you've put in a lot of effort but you really haven't. So if you want to stop here, by all means. So now that I've got the crease done, the next part of my eye is the lid. The lid is essentially this area, the flat area on your eye where you can put the most color on. So what you usually put on here for a normal easy makeup look is some sort of a glitter shade. So I'm going to use a flat brush. Again, if you have, remember I showed you this duo brush, all you have to do is use this kind of like a flat, any brush with a flat tip to it. Now if you don't have any brushes to begin with, just use your ring finger and dab it on, and honestly it's even more pigmented, but I don't like to do that because it gets really messy. So I'm gonna go in with this shade. Sahil, bye! So anyway, I'm gonna go in with this shimmery shade on a flat brush. So I literally just pack it on, and I'm not gonna use, oh fuck, I'm not gonna use windshield wiper motions for this. I'm going to pack it on. So the second area is the lid, and just, I mean, you can use windshield wiper motions, but I find that more pigment comes when you literally just press it on your lid. You can stop here, but I do want to show you the third part of your eye which you can put eyeshadow on, which will really transform the look, and it's the outer corner. So the outer corner is this V part over here, which is essentially just like, you can either make it a cat eye, and what you do with this outer corner is you put a darker shade, and do not put a glitter in it, put a matte shade. So a matte shade is essentially something like this, and I would use this dark shade, or sometimes, I mean this is quite glittery but it doesn't have that much shine in it, so you could use this as well. But to be safe and to keep it simple, just use a darker matte shade on the outer corners of your eye. So to do that, you can use a fluffy brush, the same brush I use for my crease. Literally, I think any brush would do. I'm just going to use the same fluffy brush to keep it simple. So I go in with a darker color and literally just dab it. Can you see the difference already? just dab it in the outer corner. And make sure you blend it, because you can see otherwise there's this really harsh line. So how do you blend? You literally just move your brush and that's it. Makeup does take practice, so don't be discouraged if it doesn't come out the way you want. Maybe if I'm feeling brave, I'll put in some of my old photos where I used to first start doing makeup. You'll see my eyeliner is like smudged everywhere. I didn't know how to do eyeshadow, nothing. So it really takes a lot of practice. And also, once you experiment more with makeup, you'll learn the features of your face and what goes well with that. I've made so many mistakes in my makeup, but I think I finally nailed different techniques for my eye shape specifically, like how to make it more lifted, my bone structure, all of that. So that just really comes with practice, and if you're interested in it, really. That's it. That's the 3 parts of the eyes and you're done. So what I like to do is, actually I like to keep a tissue with me, but I'm quite lazy to get one now. Clean off that brush and just go back in and blend anywhere that you feel like it's too harsh. Eyeshadow, done. It wasn't even that bad, right? So see, it's fun. Makeup is fun. Okay, now I take that back. Eyeliner is the death of me. Okay, see, again, you don't need eyeliner, but if you want to add eyeliner, this is where you would probably do it. There are many types of eyeliner. There's a gel liner, there's a liquid liner, there's a felt tip liner, there's eye pencil, many different things. There are many different kinds of eyeliner styles. You have the straight liner, you have the wing liner, you know. And on now, like on Instagram and TikTok, you'll see like people doing really crazy liners. Relax, don't do any of that. I would recommend getting a felt tip liner. So this is like literally a pencil or a marker, and this is the easiest kind of eyeliner to use. You should really get the Maybelline one with the purple cap. I think I've gotten through like 10 of those. Oh, see? Now I did it too thick. Never mind. So your eyes are done. Let's go back to the face. If you're just starting out and if you have a little bit more money to spend, I would recommend getting the Adeline Morin X Tarte palette. It has all your different eyeshadow colors that you need that I mentioned and more. And you can use this shade for contour, blush, highlight, all in one. And I really like this palette when I'm in a rush. Or you, for brown skin girls, you can get the Mini Bronze Squad Cheek Leaders palette by Benefit. So this basically has deeper colors for darker skin tones. They have a lighter version of this as well. But you don't have to get the full palette, get the mini one, because honestly that's all you need. In it is a bronzer, a highlight, and a bronzer, a blush, a highlight. Now the thing with bronzer is that if you're just starting out with makeup and you don't want to learn how to contour, honestly just bronze is okay. No one's gonna tell you anything, just bronze. So that's what I'm gonna do for today's video. I'm gonna skip the contour because it's too much, I get it. So all you have to do is take a angled fluffy brush. This is a Zoeva brush in 127 Luxe Sheer Cheek. Dip in the bronzer, and what you want to do is you want to find the cheekbones, the literal bone in your cheek, and accentuate that. So you take the bronzer, find the hard parts of your cheek, and just bronze. So with bronzer, I like to make sure I don't drag it down and then I drag it up. So other areas I apply bronzer / contour is my forehead as well, because it adds warmth to your face, and also it kind of makes it a little bit smaller from a forehead because of the 3 head, you know. And I also like to bring it on my jawline. I'm not going to go into a nose contour for this video because it's hard. What I'm going to do is just dust this on my nose. That's all. And see, it already makes it look a little bit more bronzed and warm. Next thing you want to do is blush. Now for blush, you can get any sort of powder brush, essentially. Honestly, it will work, but I really like this brush. I got it from Watson's. It's the brand Artiste Professional Soft Focus Blush Brush in A03. I love this because it's pointed and I can really angle it. So just get the blush on your brush. Now, I thought that you have to smile to do it, but really all you want to do is just put it on the apples of your cheek, right above that bronzer. You don't have to smile, do anything, just apply it. Now, next thing is highlight. For highlight, use any brush really. I'm using the Body Shop brush. Actually, honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of this highlight brush. I am looking to get a new one that is a little thinner and more like a little more fluffy and not so defined. But anyway, I'm going in the highlight from this palette. Now where you want to put highlight is just above the blush, so it's bronze, blush and highlight right here. So it's where essentially the light hits your face. So right here, just bring it all the way up. Other places where you can put your highlight are your nose, just a little bit on the button and the bridge of the nose, above your lip, and a little bit on your forehead. That's where I usually put it. Ooh, very important, just use your finger and go in with the highlight under your brow bone. Now all you need is some setting spray. Setting spray is something I highly recommend. Actually, if you want, I know you don't get Morphe in Singapore, get the Urban Decay all-nighter setting spray. If you have oily skin, get the one for oily skin. That one is like a lifesaver. I've gone clubbing with that and my makeup still comes out looking like makeup and not anything else. Once I've got the setting spray in, I just kind of let it sit. Then I go in with mascara. I don't like to do mascara before setting spray just in case it smudges. This is the False Lash Butterfly L'Oreal mascara. Also really good, quite affordable, and it's from Watsons. We're literally almost done. The last step are your lips. I'm not even going to do lip liner. It's not important. Just go straight with lipstick or a liquid lip of your choice. This one is the NYX Suede Cream Lipstick. I really like this. It's a very neutral color and it works well on a lot of different skin tones. You can totally leave it like this, but I like to top it off with a gloss, and this is the Morphe gloss in Freebird. And you are done. That's it. You completed a full face of makeup. Good job. I really hope that this video showed you that makeup is really not that complicated, and although I did like 100 steps, I just hope that it made it a little less intimidating for you. I hope that I explained it everything well, very slowly and in more tutorial form instead of just like telling you 100 things to do. And if you use any of the products or if you end up buying any of the products, please let me know. I would love to know if you enjoy them. And like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe for more videos, comment below if this video helped you in any way or any form, and if you are now a makeup lover like me. And I will see you all in my next video.